First of all, I want to give my hats off to Matt McShane because he's making this program, this Air Force program, a lot better. And he had 17 kills in the first set. That's a lot of kills. And anytime you get 17 kills, you're going to compete with the team you're playing against, no matter who it is. Now, I didn't feel like our blocking fundamentals were great in that first set. And as a result, I think Maggie Sherrill and a lot of their players got through us. And we shored that up. We got better at that as the match went on. We also served a little more effectively. They passed the ball. I mean, through the first set and a half, they were passing at a very, very good serve receiving at a very, very good level. And I think maybe it's got worn down or something, but we were able to get a few point runs, get a little lead in both the second and third set. The first set was tight right up to 20, and I thought both teams were playing very well. I thought our team was siding out very well. The only thing I didn't like was I didn't think we were blocking very well, and sometimes that's not under our control. But we ended the match doing the right things, and I'm pleased to get this win. And again, you look at them and you know that when we play them in Colorado Springs, they will be better, and it will be a big challenge. Every road match in this league is going to be a big challenge.
Yeah, and I think there in the third set, that was one of the only times I've ever seen you on the bench. What was that like to be able to watch the game for a little bit?
I think it's really cool. Michelle did such a good job going in there. And it's awesome in games like this to work hard and try and get those other goals in.
Tom, you mentioned before that earlier in the week that Air Force was scrappier, more creative, a better team. But was this a match that you saw your talent win out the longer and longer it wore out?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, as hard as time as we were having point scoring, and point scoring, what that means is when you're serving. Okay, so you guys are aware. Some people call it break points or something, but we call it point scoring. So when you're serving, we were having a hard time point scoring in set one. They were having a harder time. And I thought Dana had a great match. I thought Meg had a great match. I thought Brianna had another great match. We had some weird hitting errors in this game, but for the and it's a little higher than our average for unforced hitting errors, but I was pleased with the way we attacked the ball.
Megan, can you talk a little bit? You took over second place all time now on the school's career block list. Kind of what that means for you, and I think you're only probably about 53 off having it to yourself. It seems like
Only 53.
We got a lot of matches left, man.
That's true. I mean, it's really cool. I guess I feel very honored, and I give all the credit to my coaches and my surrounding players because they're always. I mean, I get most of my blocks from block assist, and so that means that I'm closing to a block, but a lot of times it's the other outside pin hitters that are actually getting the block, and I just get a stat for it. So, and I mean, Matt is a really good coach in blocking, and he knows kind of the schemes on the other teams, so he's always calling the right call.
What did you guys do better on the block the second two sets? Like you said, you had 2 your first, and then you end up with 10 more the rest of the night as a team.
Yeah, I mean, I think just like he said, the fundamental things, just because when you're blocking against the lower, scrappier hitters, you have to make sure you have everything perfect in your block. Doesn't matter how high you're getting over the net, as long as you're penetrating over the net. So I think just focusing on the little things is what we changed.
And when this match started out, we were like, Dieter's not blocking balls, and Dieter was frustrated. Dieter ends up with more blocks than anybody. It's kind of weird. I didn't discover that until just now. But toward the end of the match, he really shored that up. You know, that kid is a really good player, you guys. She is, and she understands how to, you know, take information from me, and she understands how to win herself. She knows when she's struggling, and she works through it and improves herself. She, you know, she's a simple player, but very good. And as are these two guys. I don't downplay their performances, but that kid is a good volleyball player, and I'm the more she plays here, the more I enjoy coaching her.
Yeah, this puts you halfway through the conference season. You see another team. You just assess where you guys are at. What you can see for the second half.
It's been interesting. I think the toughness of road games, I think, was pretty unexpected. And just the level overall in the conference, I think, is a lot higher than like any of the other years I've been here across the whole board. So I think it's good. I think it's hard because we had a couple of losses in there that don't normally happen, that like really hurt when we were in that moment, but I think they taught us a lot, both of them. And I think going into the second half, we're a lot more focused. And I think since like you saw it in Vegas and then these last two games, the level of focus on the court is just like way higher. And I think if we can continue that and really make that a priority on the road and here, we'll be successful in the second half.
Is that the one thing you think you're doing? Like the last couple of nights when teams were having tight sets with you, you guys are finding a way now to rise above. Is that the biggest change that you see in this team right now than, say, 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think like every single person on the court knows what they were weak at earlier in the season, earlier in the conference season, and everybody's like upping that a little bit more. And when that happens, we win when it's tight.
And I think we've been really good at stopping point runs. I feel like the last two games they haven't had any point runs against us.
That's good.
I'm happy.